My dear friends, have a look at the names of all these churches. What do they all have in common? That's right. They all base their theology, belief system, focus, identity, and mission on the Ten Commandments. But churches like that don't normally exist except for one: the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Why would any church dare commit and aspire to such high, lofty, noble, and divine standards? As reflected in their names, why would they? If they know they would break that commands and continue living double lives. Having a name like that would just expose them as liars and hypocrites. They would rather commit to standards that are at least attainable and not too complicated to comply with. Names like that would hold them highly accountable. Giving a church a name like that would definitely place a great deal of responsibility and accountability on every individual member to live up to that name and what it stands for. That's why people don't normally give their churches names like that. Most of us are at least honest to admit that kind of standards are too high to attain. Churches that are in the public eye won't go to such extremes. But there are many individuals, though, who personally believe they can please God by keeping His commandments, living a good, moral life. Many people are able to make such claims because their accountability is much less than that of an entire church body. But nobody is able to keep God's commandments as He requires. That's why it's an impossible means by which many are trying to get saved. The Seventh-day Adventist Church erroneously believe they are able to keep God's 10 Commandments perfectly. They assert others keep only 9 of the 10, while they keep all of that 9, plus the Sabbath commandment. Nothing is further from the truth. We can't keep that 9, neither can't they. But they falsely think they can. That's why they adopted that name for their church, to indicate they are able to keep the Sabbath perfectly, and they expect others to do the same. But they don't realize how deceived and self-deluded they are. They would not dare adopting a name, like, for example, the Church of the Truthful, because nobody is truthful, including them. They are in the same boat as all the others who make that ridiculous claims. Even if they may be able to keep the Sabbath, there are still other 9 commandments they might break, and that make them transgressors of the law. Trying to keep the 10 commandments can't fix us. Only Jesus Christ can by His grace alone. The law is like a mirror. The mirror shows us our dirt and points us to water. So, the law shows us our sins and points us to Jesus Christ, who alone can clean us. Following and worshiping Him enable us to keep all His commandments and to overcome sin, even though we may break it sometimes as human beings, and receive forgiveness. We are not saved by keeping it perfectly, but by the blood and righteousness of Jesus Christ alone.